Hello everyone, thank you for opening the video. Today we are going to be looking at the themes in The Beautiful Ones Are Not Yet Born by Ayi Kwei Armah. In our previous video, we discussed the plot of the novel, where we analyzed the struggle of the protagonist, the nameless character called JAMB, and how he strive and struggle to be a honest person in the corrupt urban society in the post-independent Ghana. So he was really disturbed, and even his wife betrayed him, calling him Chichi Dodo for not accepting bribe. So today we are going to be looking at the themes and discuss the major themes in the novel. One of the major themes in the novel, which is a recurrent motif in the novel, is corruption. Corruption runs from the beginning of the novel to the end of the novel. We could see that in The Beautiful Ones Are Not Yet Born, corruption is both concrete and abstract. Indeed, Armah's chief metaphor for political and social corruption in Ghana is physical corruption. So the novel opens with vivid description of decay, including an overflowing trash can intended, ironically, to help the citizens clean up their country. So we see that even the writer, the novelist, incorporate graphic, scatological scene, such as the one where the man visits the latrine at work and notices the wall is thickly streaked with an organic brown. Each smear skin to avoid odor smears. So until the dab had gone all around the wall. So we hear that the narrator highlights the sight and smell of accumulated excrement in a way that will make readers feel sick and appalled. So later, when Kumsum, one of the corrupt politicians, comes to the man's house for dinner, he must be escorted by his host to a community latrine, much to the man's surprise. So there, as they wait outside for the man's inside to finish, they hear his agony and struggle. And when he leaves the latrine, the two men outside are hit by a stench. So we could see that corruption is very dominant in the novel. It has become a lifestyle, a part of the people. That somebody who do not accept corruption is seen as either insane or somebody who is psychologically disturbed, to the extent that when the man talked to his wife that he rejected corruption, instead of the wife to praise his honesty, the wife was insulting him, calling him Chichi Dodo, and why should he reject a bribe instead of getting the money and use it for his personal need. So we see that in the novel, Armah metaphorically connects this description of physical corruption and excrement to the corruption in Ghana after independence. So when the man is approached early in the novel by the timber merchant hoping to bribe him into entering a contract for lumber, it becomes a clear how widespread corruption is in post-colonial Ghana. Oyo, the man's wife, is upset that he doesn't take the bribe, and even mock what she sees as his absurd and need to stick to his principle. No, the wife sees that it is absurd and insane for him to even stick to his principle of not being corrupt, not collecting bribe, not giving bribe. So although we see that the teacher think, the man's friend, the teacher think the man is courageous for refusing and trying to make an honest life for himself, he recognizes that you have not done what everybody is doing. That is, I'm quoting the teacher, what the teacher told the protagonist, the man. So, and in this world, that is one of the crimes. So when you are doing good thing, it is considered as a crime at that time, especially in the novel. So this combined comment indicate that the man is exceptional in his resistance to corruption. And most people will do whatever it takes to get ahead, become wealthy, or gain status. Even after the Nkrumah regime falls and party men are being rounded up and punished, the man witnessed the watchman at the harbor and an officer of the new regime being bribed. Even the new regime, the military regime, some of the officers are already collecting bribes. So the man felt so bad that is in a society where it is almost difficult to practice honesty, and it is even being considered as a crime for somebody to be a honest person. So let's look at another one. We have colonialism in the novel. Note that the novel was set in the post-colonial urban society in Ghana. But we see that in the newly independent Ghana, the newly independent Ghana, where the novel is set, the spectre of colonial rule continues to loom over the country. So this is most evident in the Ghanaian ruling class, who are seen as mere imitators of the white man, who once ruled the region when it was a colony. So Armah's novel suggests that it is this independence on European influence and the internalized feeling of European superiority that contribute to so much of the failure in Ghanaian government and society. So look at one of the quotations from the novel. Now, I did not put that on the screen because it would take a lot of space. But I remember one of them, when the teacher tells the man, and they who be our leaders, they also had the white men for their masters, and they also feared the masters. But after the fear that was at the bottom of their being was not the hate and the anger we knew in our despair. So what they felt was love. What they felt for their white masters and our white master was gratitude and faith. So the white people exploited the Ghanaian society during colonialism. And after the end of colonialism and Ghana gained independence, I think in 1956, the corruption continues. So the corruption continue, but in different part. The white colonialists exploited the people, took their natural resources to go and develop their own countries. But when the Africans, the Ghanaians, took over the leadership of the government, they exploited the people, they siphoned the money in the government fund, they did not take it to other countries to go and develop, rather they appropriated it to themselves. It becomes personal wealth. They use it to live flamboyant life, to buy expensive car, to take their children to expensive school, while the masses suffer greatly. So there was no much difference between colonial period in Ghana and post-colonial period, because both leaders in the colonial period and post-colonial period are very, very corrupt, according to this novel. So in the context of this novel, there was no much difference. It was post-colonial disillusionment, in a sense where the people were hoping for a better life, but got nothing but disappointment and frustration. Now let's look at another: enlightenment versus ignorance. Now, this is also one of the dominant theme in the novel. In the novel, we see that teacher represent enlightenment and awareness. So through his interaction with Kofi Billy and Mana, his use of we and his political involvement, teacher became awakened to truth in the world around him. So, however, he soon found that this truth precipitated a darker, less hopeful worldview. So, as teacher relates, this is one of the quotation of teacher in the sense of his enlightenment. Say the destructive thing we does is to lift the blindness and to let you see the whole of your life laid out in front of you. It is truth. Its truth is the deep, dangerous kind of truth that can certainly frighten you into a desperate, gloomy act. So you could see that despite even his enlightenment, it was difficult for him to make change, because those who are honest and enlightened are not even allowed to be part of the leadership of the government. So we see that teacher and Kofi Billy's awakening was a kind of double-edged sword. They came to know more, but that knowledge made them lose hope that their lives or their country as a whole might improve. So the knowledge the teacher have even causes him more depression, because it made him understand that it is almost impossible for any significant improvement in their lives or in the society. Because if you want to get improved personally, you have to bribe your way through, and almost in every strata you have to bribe personnel, you have to bribe officers. So, and at the same time, because of the ravaging corrupt and nature in the society, it is almost difficult for the society to improve, because where every individual is more concerned about his personal aggrandizement, his personal pleasure. Nobody will bother much about enlightening the society, about making life good for the masses. And this novel was set in the post-colonial Ghana. So in the modern Ghana today, let's say in 2022, which we are today, is there much difference between the colonial period, the post-colonial period when this novel was written, and in the current 2022 society of Ghana? If you ask me, I will tell you there's not much difference, because even as today, according to the World International Monetary Fund or World Bank, the Ghanaian currency is the worst performing currency in the world today. And what prompted that? It is corruption. So we see that the man act as a disciple of teacher and see the world as he does. So the perspective of the world by teacher and the man is almost the same thing. So you can see that both of them have this belief that they are in a realm of hopelessness, where there is no much hope or believe that there is something improving their life will happen or happen to the society. So this set him apart, making him often feel alone. So as he does when he is a co-worker, when his co-workers are excited about the coup to replace Nkrumah, so he felt completely apart from all that was taking place. So you could see the man also was lonely, even though he was living among people. He was living in the urban society of Ghana, but he was extremely lonely because nobody buy the ideas and perspective of his life except the teacher. His wife Oyo is a corrupt woman. All the people in the railway, they are corrupt. So we could see that teacher and the man have lost hope for the future because they have seen their hope repeatedly dashed. Others in Ghana, though, can continue to think condition might improve. But because of the enlightenment and the knowledge teacher and the man have, they lost total hope for anything improvement or anything that will happen that will lift the masses or the poor people from poverty. So let's see, another major theme in the novel again is the embezzlement of government fund. The politicians in the novel are more concerned about what can they get from the government. So when they contest for political offices, they do not have it in mind that, okay, we are going there to lead the people to make life better. Though they make such promises during election, but they are not concerned about anybody when they get to office. We can see that in the life of Compson. and some other top political officials. So we see that Armah revealed to us the social life of Ghanaians, whereby government leaders like Komsu, Zechariah Lagos, and Abednego Yamoha undergo luxurious life through embezzlement of government funds. For example, Komsu and his wife Estella, through embezzlement of government funds, are able to buy expensive things such as cars, furniture like sofa, and their daughter Princess is also dressed expensively. And Komsu physique shows how much he embezzles the government fund. So Komsu himself look obviously larger than the chair he was occupying. Now, for instance, somebody who is probably a local government chairman or a local council head can buy something worth 3 million US dollar, which ordinarily his salary may probably be something of maybe $10,000. You can see that he embezzled the government fund for him to be living such life. And Komsu also bought sheep. How did he get the money? It was through corruption, embezzling the government fund. So when they get to office, according to Armah, in the context of this novel, is that what they got there to do is to look for how they can exploit the people, get whatever is left in the fund, and then keep on promising the people and giving excuses of what the past administration did not do well that led to the current state of the people. Okay, now let's look at another hopelessness. Is there any form of hope in the novel at all? When I read the novel, I felt that there is no hope at all. It is a gloomy, dark, moribund situation, in the sense that even the coup, the military government that overtook the Nkrumah regime, most of the officials are corrupt. Right then, that very day when the coup took place, some of them were already collecting bribes. So it was like, okay, democratic system was corrupt, then let's bring another form of corrupt government in the military form. And you know that when the military system of government is corrupt, it is more corrupt than democratic government because it silences the people's voice. So we see that there is massive hopelessness. The teacher has lost hope. The man has lost hope for any honest society, for any good urban society. So most of the thing happening there shows that the corruption is systemic in a way that it is so endemic that removing or tackling it was difficult. For instance, even the conductor of the bus was corrupt. So you could see the high class, the elites are corrupt, embezzling government fund. Then those who are the lower class at the same time were very corrupt, exploiting others, such as the bus conductor who refuses to give the money. Yeah, when the people give him money, he refuses to give them, which the change they ought to give them, he refuses. Or probably dodge them or escape when they were looking for him, they couldn't find him. So you could see poor people exploiting the poor, the elite oppressing the poor, and embezzling government funds. So the traces of corruption can also be found in the new military government. So there was no form of hopelessness. That is why even they try to say the beautiful ones are not yet born. And the beautiful one there is symbolic of the honest one, the people that can lift the Ghanaian urban society from what it is currently to a more cosmopolitan, civilized society. So there is hopelessness, drowned enough. The man, the protagonist, is frustrated, and he has lost total hope. Because in a situation whereby you do something that nobody praises you or nobody even acknowledges it, including his wife Oyo, it led to a lot of hopelessness. And then when you are hopeless that way, you may not make much effort to cause a change. Now, look at another one, struggling. Yes, in fact, struggling is also dominant in the novel, because we see most of the characters are struggling, especially the protagonist, the man. Struggle to feed himself, struggle to take care of his family, struggle in the office, because in where the system is so corrupt, anybody coming to make a honest attempt on making a change is considered probably as a criminal or a traitor. No, where evil is legalized, any form of honesty is considered as a crime. And that was exactly what the man was facing. So he struggled almost in all facets of his life. In the office, he faces a lot of challenges. And then when he returns home, instead of him having peace of mind, his wife also hated him because he refused to get bribe. Those who are lower position in the office, you could see that some of them live a larger life than him. So the man seems to be like maybe a mere poor man. Yes, it looked like a mere poor man that is not even working at all. Because some of them working in the railway station have their cars, have their houses built, not from their salaries, but because of the bribe they collected from the timber dealers and some other people that want to make their way. They could charge someone for load and then they will not give the money to the government purse. So the man faces challenges. I could see that the only place or the only thing that gives the man a sense of succor is the teacher. Because the teacher, sometimes the teacher used to commend his effort. But apart from the teacher, I did not see any other person who even commend the man for once. His wife is really not a good woman to commend. So we see that when the old regime is overthrown by the military, his formerly rich friend have the price slap on their head overnight. And the man must choose between helping his corrupt friend, that is Kumsum, and saving his life or allowing the authority to catch him. So classes. Ghana society is occupied with classes of have and have not. So the have class is characterized by people who live luxurious life. So even when the coup took place, the man also was still struggling. If he let out the information that Kumso is hiding in his house, the authority will get hold of Kumse. And then that is a honest thing to do, because when you take what does not belong to you, you need to be arrested or prosecuted for it. But at the same time, he's also more concerned that if he do that, Kumse may even bribe his way through and then get freed. And then it may come for him in a way to oppress him. And at the same time, his wife Oyo, the man's wife Oyo, may also not be happy with that and may also try to deal with him. So it was a lot of struggling for him. Now, there is another thing, which is dilemma. Dilemma is also very dominant in the novel. The man thinking which option to follow. So the man find no comfort, no understanding in the request of his word. So no one congratulates him on his effort to remain a honest man. So instead they push him to take bribe and favor. You know, a lot of, even his mother-in-law was against him. So even the entire family was against him. So they wonder why he can't be more like his former schoolmate Kumsum. Kumsum living in luxurious life, and you can see your classmate doing something that gives you money and you refuse to do it because it is not right. So a minister in the government who has sacrificed ethics for elegance, that is what Kumsi is. So the man must suffer alone as he tries to keep his eyes a mind on what is right. So he lives in isolation among his family. So the only one who understands him is the teacher. So the man visits late at night for some consolation. So if not because of the teacher, maybe the man might probably have died of depression. So, but the teacher used to console him, used to give me a sense of hope. Not a sense of hope that there will be improvement, but a sense of hope that what he's doing is right. Okay, that is the dilemma he faces. The man, you can look at the man's life, imagine his life. In the office, everybody is against him because he does not collaborate. At home, his wife is against him. The in-laws are against him. His own family are against him. His extended family, they are against him because he refused to collaborate. So you can see that, yes, it was a terrible dilemma, if I can say. Now, the coup. What really happened? But if I ask you a question now, that is the coup that took place, is there a justified action for it? Yes, you may say, okay, it's justified because the democratic government was so corrupt. So the coup, it was an attempt to right the wrong. But you could see that even the soldiers are very corrupt. On that very day that the coup took place, some were already collecting bribe, and the protagonist saw them. So that even made him to lose total hope. Why others were rejoicing that, okay, yes, the Nkrumah government have been toppled. Then the soldiers that are coming will do things well for the people. But the soldiers are already collecting bribe, which was the main reason why the coup took place. The people were collecting bribe, not doing what they were elected to do. And then the coup took place. But the same thing now is happening. So the coup shifts the country's leadership. And then the only thing that some of the politicians were punished because of the embezzlement of government funds by the coup leaders. So coup is also a dominant theme in the novel. It happened, the military took over the government and then decided or hunt down some of the top political elites. And though they recoup some of the embezzled funds, they recover some, but most of them were not recovered. And many of the politicians, just like Kumsum, escaped. You will see, this is a very challenging thing. And is this exclusive to Ghana? I will tell you no. It is not exclusive to Ghana. It is almost in all sub-Saharan African countries. If you talk about Nigeria, corruption is deep. If you talk about the Benin Republic, there is a lot of corruption there. Almost in all sub-Saharan African countries, there are a lot of, and most of them have experienced coup. And just as Ayi Kwei Armah portray what happened in Ghana, it happened almost in many African countries. The democratic system of the democratic government is corrupt. Then the coup came, the military took over, and then what happened that they took over was exactly what they are doing. So that is it. So in a subsequent lesson, we are going to be discussing the characters. We are going to discuss extensively on the character of the protagonist, the man, the teacher, Kumsum, Estella, Oyo, and the conductor, and several other characters in the novel. The roles they play, how do they contribute to the development of the plot? All of them will be discussed in our subsequent lesson. So make sure you subscribe and then click the notification bell so that you get updated when the video is uploaded. So thank you. I see you very soon. All right, in our next lesson. Thank you.